Back to France, but not an easy transition. 4 category climbs and just over 3,800 metres of climbing. Could it break away form and succeed?
The flag dropped and the fight to get into the break of the day was fierce. The fast pace and unsettled nature of the day resulted in a crash, with Bruno Amorai of Visma bike coming off worst. He'd get back on his bike but did not see the front of the race again. Valentin Palipantula of Soudal Quick Step took maximum points over the first KOM. A group of riders managed to get clear, which included 2019 Tour de France champion Egan Bernal. Unfortunately for that group, it all came to nothing, and it was as we were. After 60 kilometres of hard racing, 4 riders eventually snapped the elastic and went up the road. After more riders bridged across, the front group was made up of 18 riders, the best placed on GC being Alex Baudin of EF Education Easy Post, who was just 1 minute and 3 seconds down on Jonas Vingegaard. Davide Piganzoli, who was in the peloton, went back to the team car, and Visma bike seemed happy with how everything was set up on the road.
So we have extra support there with 4 riders. We create a good situation in front. Good breakaway with no dangerous riders, no GC riders.
As the riders went through the intermediate sprint point, the gap was just under 3 minutes to the peloton behind. Mads Pedersen of Lidl Trek took maximum points and started his pursuit of the green jersey. UAE Team Emirates XRG moved to the front and took up pacing duties, bringing the gap down to well under 2 minutes. And on the lower slopes of the Col de Tosas, there'd be attacks. We pick up the action with the riders from the front group all across the road.
Our breakaway has detonated, Robbie.
Yeah, well, those attacks have come, well, attacks accelerations and the better climbers are coming to the fore. George Bennett was in a sort of a counter-attacking group there with Baudin from EF Education. Meanwhile, behind, Niels Pollard, as always, baring his teeth, setting the pace, but that gap now pushing out towards the 2-minute mark. It was as low as 1.5 minutes at one point, so the break resisting as best they can, and UAE not using their full climbing arsenal at the moment, controlling things for now with 70k to go with Niels Pollard, who's one of the greatest rouleurs in the peloton. And over the last couple of years, he's actually really improved his climbing quality to the point where we've been amazed at some of the places he's got himself to, still controlling the pace of the peloton high in the mountains.
Yeah, for a very tall man, he does an amazing job. Sean, every team needs somebody who is prepared to put themselves on the rack on behalf of their teammates. They're unsung largely. We do our best to highlight them. Pollitt's one, of course, Campanart's another. It's almost a specialist job, isn't it? Suffering.
It is, and it's also a talent they have got. Guys that can ride in the front for kilometre after kilometre, day after day in a 3-week tour, and that's the reason they're taking those teams. A team with a rider who is going to win the Tour of France. As you see, Pollard has no problem here.
Yes, pulled on one side. I don't think that was by design. Yeah,
that's a mechanical. Yeah.
Luckily, everybody just managed to get around him there, because when he stopped there almost in the middle of the road, the riders, had to correct their line. As we can see here, he just drifts across to the centre of the road, or more so to the left-hand side of a picture. But we can see that the riders just all move out there, and yeah, that's also part of it. These guys, bike handling. If you had somebody who's not, good at bike handling there, they would just go off the brakes and, block everything, and then they'd all crash into the back of each other. They're just so calm, they're the riders, and that's what they are so good at.
Baudin has come across that gap with George Bennett and Nicolas Prodhomme from the Decathlon team. So now there are 6 at the front, 156 to the peloton, but Gregoire struggling, and if you're struggling at this point, well, I think the writing's on the wall. Niels Pollard now coming back. That drop chain for Niels Pollard, there would have been, he was on the big chain ring, and he would have been moving through the cogs on the back so far to the left till he got to the point where the gradient increased, decided to switch to the small chain ring. But when the chain is on one of the left-sided cogs, the big cogs, you got so much offset, you try to drop to the small chain ring, and it just drops straight over the top of it into the inside. So it's a bit of a lapse of concentration, and people may think, well, that shouldn't happen at this level, chain coming off, but if you've got so much offset in the chain, that's the sort of thing that is quite common.
That drift to the side of the road that we witnessed, of course, with Niels Pollitt, all it did was, Robbie, magnify just how tightly packed the peloton is at the moment. There's a lot of opportunity here, and everyone knows it.
Well, there's going to be an opportunity for a stage victory, I think, with it still at around 2 minutes, with 69k to go, as Romain Gregoire seems to be really not just suffering with the climbing, but also the heat. The teammate trying to look after him and cool him down in Germani. But yeah, it's tightly packed. All the contenders there just biding their time, waiting for the real finale to begin.
Can't wait for it. 69.4 Ks. We're only 1,200 metres from the top. The T-Rex is out.
Yeah, no, Tim Rex. We've got T-Rex.
Can't remember what that flag is he's displaying there. But anyway, we continue to grind on here. And Alex Baudin, the most motivated man here from the breakaway, trailing by 1 minute and 7 overall. So back to the yellow jersey. He's still our virtual leader, to be honest. It's been a brave ride for him, especially as he's needed constant encouragement from his own team to just stay in the zone and make sure that if he is going to give himself a chance, he's going to have to work for it. And he is up to the task, it seems. He may get mugged for the mountains points at the top here, despite the fact he's done most of the work. Let's wait and see who is motivated to take the 10 at the top of the Col de Tauzet. We'll come over the top. It'll be very, very swift down into the valley, and then it's climbing for much of the remainder of the day. Some downhill sections, of course, because what goes up must come down. After this test, there'll be 3 climbs still to be taken. Only 2 of them are categorized. So yeah, we have a sort of a lumpy old finale, and I'm afraid Ben Healy, I'm surprised to see him struggling, actually. Here we come through the crowds. Don't get used to them, because it's going to be a near silence by the time we actually get to the French border, due to wildfire protocols which are going to start raining down upon us, I'm afraid. They've banned the public on the French side of today. Robbie, I think it's a great indication of the efforts that have been put in this entire race so far. It has been relentless, and there's a price being paid for those who've been busy up to now.
Well, it's relentless in terms of the gradients that have been there all day long. It's basically been a climb from the start with almost no downhill, so they really appreciate that both the downhill on the other side, maybe a little bit of quiet for a few kilometres, as well as eerie and as strange as that will be. Alex Baudin, I mean, he's got this group under so much pressure. Well, Matteo Verscher, his knees are about to exit the building. They come over the top, and it is Baudin who takes the points over the top ahead of Nicolas Prudhomme. Looks over the shoulder to check everybody there, just and only just a little gap. Back to Garcia Piana, and now on to the descent, and fairly shortly an absence of spectators.
It's strangely, we've got a little plateau here before we actually engage fully in the descent, so they'll come back together. They'll just round a couple of twists and turns before we indeed drop off. And great to see some ambition being displayed here by Cahar Oral, who've really welcomed the opportunity of being here at this Tour de France. They've been extremely busy.
Well, it looks like there's a lot of bikes stacked there on the side, so a lot of people come out by bike, and as we were talking about, you know, how can you stop people on their bike? They're not going to cause any problems, so I think a lot of those spectators have made it by bike here out this afternoon.
Well, on the descent, UAE kept the pace high. Niels Pollitt was doing what he does best and was working hard on the front. Alex Baudin and Nicolas Prudhomme were in the lead group, and they'd gone alone, and that is where we pick up the action.
25 k's to go. Just over a kilometre to the top of the penultimate classified climb. Unclassified climb before you get to the last climb to Les Angles. Again, plenty of people who are already in town for the race, who'd made the journey before yesterday's declaration, are on the side of the road. Oh dear. Work all day, and then that happens. Quinn Simmons back with a puncture.
Bourdon now is no longer the virtual leader of this race either. He's crept into that 1 minute and 7, so as it stands, the jersey is still firmly on Jonas Vingegaard's shoulders.
For now, Tadej Pogačar at 6 seconds, remember, in second place. And plenty of other options in and around. A top 10 separated by a minute. It's Vingegaard, Pogačar at 6 seconds, Evenepoel at 15, then Toro at 16, and Juan Ayuso at 19 is the top 5. As we're coming to the final 750 metres of this climb. So Bourdon's yellow jersey green seems to have disappeared today. The next thing to work on here is the King of the Mountains. Bourdon leading by 2 points. He has 10 ahead of Nicolas Prudhomme, who has 8. Bourdon just needs a single point here if he's to do the business, I think. If he can take 2 points, it's certainly assured that he'll be going onto the podium at the end of the day, taking the jersey from Alex Molinat.
Quick bike change there for Quinn Simmons as well, onto the spare bike, no change in a wheel.
Towards the top of the climb here in Font-Romeu. Those who have survived are in the bunch, and it has been an exercise in survival for most today. See the salt marks just about everywhere throughout the peloton. It's been such a difficult, dehydrating day. How's he going to look in the King of the Mountains competition? 2 and 1 points available here at the top. Confirmed by the little graphic on the right-hand side there, and Bourdon is being told he can go for it by Nicolas Prudhomme.
He's asking for water, Prudhomme.
Take that water. He's going to have to take it from the neutral service. Alex Bourdon.
He might, I was going to say, is he getting a bottle for Bourdon there as well? 2 bottles, both in the pocket.
Is he getting one for Paul Sixas, maybe? Now then, it is Bourdon who takes the 2 points, and Alex Bourdon, at the very least today, will take the King of the Mountains jersey. Question is, Sean Kelly, is there anything else to be taken?
Is he waiting?
Well, he wants a shower now.
Well, it's highly unlikely that they're going to have any opportunity of going all the way to the finish with 44 seconds on the peloton here, and still that 23 kilometres to go. We have a little bit of a downhill here, but it does kick up again. There's another uncategorised section in here before we go on to the very final climb of the day. So, if it was all downhill here and just the final climb, which is what, 1.7 kilometres, yeah, maybe they could do that, but this climb in the middle will be the real killer for them. And yeah, unless the peloton really, steady up the pace here, which is not going to happen, and it looks like, yes, unfortunately for the breakaway, as it has been dangling there for a long, long time now. Never enough of an advantage to be in a position to try and go for the stage win out of the breakaway.
There were the facilities at the altitude training centre I told you about, and yes, he's waiting. Nicolas Prudhomme is waiting, so those bidons were for teammates.
So the next climb they've got coming up is 4.8k at 2.3%. It's not the longest in the world, and it's 51 seconds. Oh.
Surprised at that?
I'm surprised that he's waiting. Like, why ride that climb full gas to then get to the top and then just wait? If he knew what UAE is doing behind, like, surely that's just... What's the point of going that hard and then going, do you know what, sit up? He was at 1 minute and 10 at the bottom. They've lost 20 seconds, but now he's decided to wait rather than go back in the peloton and ride that whole climb at a little bit less.
Yes, it is a surprise that he just, hung on the climb there and did ride with Bourdon, and then get to the top of the climb and just stack up with bottles of water and knock off his effort here. They must think that with this advantage, it's not going to happen here for the leader out on the road here, and maybe as well back in the peloton. Decathlon, they might have not a lot of riders to go back for bottles to the cars. So, yeah, that could be the decided, okay, let's look after Paul Sexas here and make sure that he has, plenty of water and to get all the way to the finish.
They've got bodies in the peloton.
They have.
Benoit at least is there. I can see 2 or 3 more alongside Success.
Why get that climb full, not full gas, but why do the old climb at that speed when he could have knocked it off earlier?
Alex Bourdin, the new king of the mountain. So there is some reward for him today.
Yes, well, he definitely deserves an award, and all the riders out here today, that was a great performance to get into the breakaway first of all, and do the job they have done. But this man, he's coming out with the polka dot jersey, but you can see there the advantage, 23 seconds is coming down rapidly, and this terrain here we can see, it's just that falls flat there, falls flat, just going up 2-3% here, and as we said, the climb is coming up now where it goes up a little bit more. This is where, when you're starting to really fatigue, well then the peloton is just going to ease into your advantage.
Bourdin is going to wear the King of the Mountains jersey like he did at the Dauphiné. Not this year, the year before. Of course, this year he was in the GC. It's 8 seconds. It's effort. It's been concentration all day from Alex Bourdin. Look at the pride as well from Bourdin. Looks down, keeps riding. The watts are being pumped out. He's making them work for this.
He certainly is, and just continuing on here, I thought, when he was down to that 10 seconds, 15 seconds, I thought he would knock off his effort and, get a bit of recovery time, but he's just continuing on here, and you can see they're having to work to close it down, but it's not a concern for the team of UAE. They're just in the zone here, continuing on to set that real strong pace here and keep the pressure on everybody, get into this final climb of the day, and then the action will kick off. And it'll be interesting to see, will there be anybody able to touch the team of UAE with Pogacar and Del Toro. Vingegaard, of course. Lenny Martinez is a one in here as well, but I think he'd prefer it a little bit steeper as well, maybe a bit longer, but you never know. We could see a surprise, because today, such a difficult day, warm conditions, that we could see a rider getting through very well, and the one that you'd say didn't expect him here today to be able to do that, but it could be the case.
Even the greats, the superstars are watching. The big names we've been talking about, you know who. Have they fed and watered properly? Have they controlled their core temperature? It's a difficult job on a day like this anyway, whatever you're doing. But at the Tour de France, where the margins are so fine, it is critical. And look at Bourdin, still with 4 seconds just to play with. Another effort up that little lip. A look around to see the difference, and while he's still there, he still pedals, he still fights. It's a much calmer scene behind here, despite the suffering. Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe in conversation. Evenepoel looking across at Lipovitz. Maximo Hills is in there as well. Could finish for somebody like him. In the meantime, Arnaud Dely at 38 minutes now. Alex Molinar and the Gruppetto at 25 minutes. Alex Bourdin is caught. And with 11.5 kilometers remaining, the breakaway is broken, is brought back, and against what most people forecasted for this third stage of the Tour de France, it will be a day for those contesting the general classification. "4,000 meters of climbing. Perhaps we were all silly to think otherwise. It just looked different, didn't it? It looked like it was an opportunity for whoever had gone well on the opening couple of days to give away the jersey. But it has not turned out that way. A long fight for the breakaway. Then Visma controlling, having us guessing what they were doing. And while it stayed at 2 minutes, UAE seemed to have said, thank you very much. We'll take over now. And they're the ones who have gradually brought things back. But what's the aim here? With 10 kilometers to go, are we ready for power from Pogačar, or will they be cooking up something different like we saw yesterday? For now, it's Kohlschartner. And Sean, are we any the wiser to see what might happen?
Well, I think it's going to be a one where it's going to be a UAE victory. Will that be Pogačar or will it be Del Toro? Because we see Del Toro yesterday, you know, the way he was riding in the final, and you know, took it up very early. Looked like he was preparing the sprint for Pogačar, but just continued on and went on, and just, you know, put everybody in difficulty in the final couple of meters of the run to the line. So we could see something like that happen again today. And you can see the power they have got here still. You know, Kohlschartner is still riding there. We can see McNulty is still there.
And this now is the fight for the first slopes of the final climb, all the way up to Les Angles. Never before hosted a stage finish at the Tour de France. One name will be the first here. Which name will it be? It's already a reduced bunch. Movistar with Garcia just pulling off to the right. He's done a great job so far today. Well, they've done the hard work getting up and can slide down now. The peloton's got to get up the hill to the finish here. Bourdin with a brilliant effort today. Whatever happens, he can be proud of himself. Let's hear what the team is saying.
Bravo, Alex, bravo. Sean, Richie, tight together, tight.
Richard Carapaz, Sean Quinn, ready for action. Charlie Wegelius directing operations as the road is about to go uphill. 7 kilometers from here to the finish, the final 2Ks, categorized at 7%. Until then, it is more gnarly, difficult uphill affair. But guess who? They turn up to take it on. They're there again. They're omnipresent. UAE Team Emirates. And if yesterday it was McNulty, he's waiting in the wings. For now, it is Felix Kohlschartner. Chris Harper looks like he's looking after Tom Pidcock, left-hand side.
Yes, we can see a number of teams here just getting into position behind the team of UAE and keep them in as best possible, and you know, keep them out of the wind and just get them as far as they can on this final, and just leave them into the final then and see what they can do. And you know, there is a lot of riders there. You know, EF Education as well. Carapaz, he's another one, a punchy one of this sort of final. So there is quite a few riders here that I think they're thinking, yeah, I could get a stage win here, but it will depend on how good the others are, and that is UAE. If Pogačar and Del Toro is like they were yesterday, as a performance as they were yesterday, very difficult to see anybody to challenge him in the run to the line.
Paul Sexas, keep your eyes on him. The whole of France has its eyes on him. Sat on the wheel of Aurélien Parepin. We talked about Carapaz there. Similar styles of finish to this at the Giro d'Italia have been where he's really laid down his challenge before. Visma Lisa bike with Vignor in yellow. It's just a 6-second gap to Pogačar. Will he still be in the lead of this race by the end of today? Pogačar in the rainbow jersey, the world champion with 21 previous Tour de France stage wins. He's looking for overall win number 5. That decision will come in Paris in just under 3 weeks' time. But of course, it's a decision that has to be built, constructed, an argument given out before the final judge, jury, and maybe, if it's to be another strong victory executioner, well, in making that argument, you've got to win along the way. Bernal is looking after Thymen Arensman. Keep your eyes on Tobias Hall and Johannesson. Red jersey, he moves up too. Pidcock we mentioned. It's been a recovery of sorts from Keanu de Brooks to be here. Juan Ayuso, potentially good finale for him. Skilmos is in that team as well. And at the front keeping position, it's Carlos Verona. We're still waiting, we're still watching. There's just over 5 kilometers to go.
Yes, 5 to go, and you know, it sounds nothing, but when you're in this position here after such a difficult day, it is a difficult one. just to keep your position alone. And we did see there a moment back where teams are coming up on the outside and try to get a position here, but you can see the way UAE are riding. They're just keeping it over to the left-hand side of the road in the direction they're riding. You can see the flag the way it's blowing here. That's just to give everybody behind them minimum shelter, and that is the reason you can see there teams are just trying to cover the riders in this final number of kilometres. And yeah, this final number of kilometres is going to be a difficult one. It's, you know, this slowly uphill after this day. At this rate they're going, everybody is starting to suffer.
This approach, you might say, for these guys is relatively easy, but it's what they've been through today. This ferocious start to the Tour de France and the level of competition that's going to influence things. Lidl slowly moving up. And Carlos Verona doing a great job. Vacek's still there. Simmons is there as well. Jan van Wilder is being positioned for Soudal Quickstep, left-hand side of our screens. The blue, red and green by Valentin Paré-Peintre. And Lenny Martinez is there as well on the left for Bahrain Victorious. Behind them, with the similar colour jerseys, Decathlon and Paul Sexas. Simmons now takes over for Lidl as they want more pace. On the right-hand side, Yates is doing the same job for UAE. Matteo Jorgensen is in charge of keeping their main man, Jonas Vingegaard, in the right place. Biganzoli's at the back of their train, and now it's Kuss's turn to join Jorgensen at the front. The screw is tightening, the pressure cooker is building.
Yes, it is starting to pressure building here. We can see the team now of UAE are getting to get crowded a bit, teams moving up beside them, and you know, they're just continuing on to keep this pace setting. But yeah, we can see a little trek there starting to take things up with Verona on the front. Yeah, we can see Vacek, you know, he's quite a fast one, but I think this uphill should be a bit too difficult for him, so it's probably Ayuso, Skelmus maybe as well, so they have them as two cars, but Ayuso, he is a one who can do this sort of final.
And Ayuso in the white jersey today, let's not forget, is the best young rider. Sits in the fourth wheel in the little trek line, just at the top of your picture, alongside Paul Sexas of Decathlon. It's Adam Yates at the bottom in the white, the yellow helmet, who's keeping that position for UAE. Now there's a sprint in the bars by Matteo Jorgensen up into town of Les Angles. They go through the streets and up the hill. Reminder, the last 2 kilometers at almost 7%. Sepkus takes over. And it's a real fight just to be where they are. And there's hairpin after hairpin in those final couple of kilometers. They're in the town first, but they actually climb a little further ahead up to Pla del Mir, the third category climb to the finish. And if you're in these sorts of positions, you can wave goodbye already.
Well, I think if you're in these sorts of positions, you know, I'm not going to be able to do anything here, and you just sit back and leave it happen, because you have the experience those guys have got. You know the feeling, the legs the way they are. You're not going to have any chance of doing anything major on this climb, so just slip out the back slowly, as we can see lots of riders losing contact here with this main group.
Medona's job is done, left-hand side of the picture in the multicoloured kit of Lidl Trek. He goes out the back as well. Tudor Pro Cycling seeing Yanis Voisal lose contact. Also there, José Félix Parra of Caja Rural. Straight around the roundabout and carrying great speed there. That was Simmons who just took the wrong side, and that has made them lose about 5 positions and a gap.
Yes, we could see there, very important that you get the right way around the roundabout, and the ones who went the long way around lost quite a lot of places.
Pogacar having to move up, Sixas and Decathlon having to recover from that error as well. So difficult to make the decisions, even to listen to the instructions of the sports director when the fatigue is high, and Matteo Jorgensen is putting watt after watt out at the front. Adam Yates trying to fight for his wheel. Behind, you can see Piganzoli moving up. Going backwards here is Harold Tejada alongside Keanu de Brooks. Yet again, who's going to lose more time. Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe start to turn up now with Jai Hindley leading Remco Evenepoel. And, of course, their main man, Florian Lipovic, who was on the podium last year, into the position. That's that from Matteo Jorgensen in the meantime. He peels off. He'll make his own way up at his own pace. The yellow jersey is there as well, right on the wheel, as it looks as though behind Matthias Vacek, it's going to be Jai Hindley next to go. We're starting to climb proper now.
Yes, well, we're into the final 2 kilometres here, and we can see here Svacek is continuing to set the pace here, and we can see Vingegaard is in a real good position. Pogačar also very much in there, and it's looking and waiting who's going to take it up at this time, because this is too early for anybody to go full on here. You have to have the lead out, and it's Hindley who is just securing the pace here.
Maxim Vochils is done. He will not contest the finale. It will be for either Evenepoel or Leitowitz in Red Bull colours. This is Del Toro, who's in the green jersey. But note on the left-hand side on the radio, after what he was saying yesterday, he better be hoping it's working today. On the right-hand side, Kuss comes around, and we could just see a moment ago, couldn't we? There was that hesitation of a little bit of a sort from Jonas Vingegaard. He looked around. Now Sixas moves up to be around Tish Benoit. And this is around each and every corner. Sepp Kuss. Pogačar in third wheel. Kuss asking for instructions.
Yes, well, you have to keep it real strong pace here, because if your leader is maybe third or fourth position, you do not want them to get crowded out and riders come up left and right, and as we go into those corners, that is always the danger. So, for the men like Vingegaard, he needs a teammate. If it's not going fast enough, a teammate like Sepp Kuss is the perfect one to do it.
Tiberi, like at the Brooks, losing more time. Davide Pigazzoli at the back, unable to offer anything else. There was Tom Pidcock at the back of the group as well. Just over a kilometre to go now as Del Toro starts to light it up. And it's Del Toro at the front with Pogačar on his wheel. Normal service is resumed. All the rest must follow. Bernal still in there. Ayuso as well behind. Paul Sixas is right on the wheel of Vingegaard. Evenepoel is up with him. Lipovic is around at 10th position behind. Carapaz, you mentioned, is in the pink jersey, and he's there as well. 850 metres to go. Leonard van Eertveld in the red jersey.
And this is the one where if you have a normal rider on the front to continue on, 900 metres to go when Del Toro takes it up, it is much too far out for this man. Is never too much far out. We see what he did yesterday. He just continues on to set this pace for metre after metre, and as we go through now 600 metres to go approximately, he's still securing this real strong pace for Pogačar, and we can see the way everybody is just one line here and all just fighting to stay in the wheels.
Tobias Harlan Johannesson made his move yesterday. He's moving up on the right and left as we look at it now, but nobody can get beyond the power being put on by yesterday's stage winner, Mexico's Isaac Del Toro. There's an acceleration to move up a couple of places from Richard Carapaz. He gets ahead of Ayuso. He gets in front of Sixas, but at the minute he can't beyond at all Vingegaard. It's Del Toro, it's Pogačar, it's Vingegaard. Sixas reclaims that place with Carapaz on his wheel. Evenepoel behind him, and then Ayuso into the final couple of 100 metres. It's one long lead out this with 250 to go. It's Del Toro who's there, and now Pogačar will move. And Tadej Pogačar is there. Tadej Pogačar again at the front, and there is no competition. Tadej Pogačar on another planet. He rides away again. If yesterday it was the apprentice, today it's the master. Victory number 22 for Tadej Pogačar at the Tour de France. He takes the lead. Vingegaard is second and holds the yellow jersey, but is there a gap?
There is a gap, and it's going to be a very, very tight one, because there is, possibly 2, 3, maybe 4 seconds there. It is going to be very, very tight for the yellow jersey.
Well, 4 bonus seconds meant there was a 2-second gap between the two. Sean, if you think there's a gap there, we'll have to wait. But Tadej Pogačar is now 5th on the all-time stage winners list. Pogačar has done it yet again. It is quite the wonderful, inevitable performance. Ever since they took it up, this was what it was building up for. And UAE do it again. Level with André Darrigade. 22 stages at the Tour, and at this one, he's just getting started. It's the world champion at Les Angles. It's Tadej Pogačar, and it is tighter at the top in the GC.
A 22nd win takes Pogačar joint 5th in the list of most Tour Stage 1 A 2-second gap declared at the finish, meaning equal time with Vinogor. But his stage win and second place yesterday puts him back in yellow. Jonas and Visma will be plotting of how to reel the man in, but a stunning statement of intent from the world champion. Well, it seems that Pogačar and Del Toro share everything. The Sloven keeps the green jersey on UAE's shoulders. Alex Baudin's efforts rewarded with the polka dots, a Frenchman on a podium as the Tour returned to the Hexagon. White jersey Del Toro may have seen Mexico out of the World Cup overnight, but he'll be flying Latri's flag throughout July. And a long way to go, but is Pogačar being pointed in the direction of a 5th Tour title.
Yesterday was, I'm not going to talk about sweet revenge because yesterday was almost a victory for you, but this one is a real victory and it has a good taste.
Look, it's because of him. It's because of Isaac today. I get some extra power, I think, in the final. Yeah, he commit more than 100% in the final climb, and I mean, all the team actually. In the middle of the stage, we decided that it's possible to go for the stage win, and yeah, I'm really happy that yeah, we start the tour like this, and yeah, incredible finish today.
Yeah, because yeah, you're apparently very hungry. You could have let the breakaway go, but you wanted to win today.
I'm not so hungry. I eat every 30 minutes one gel, so it's not not so hungry. But no, it's yeah, no, it was yeah. If we can win like we did today, and the team feels super good, we have to take the opportunity, and yeah, we tried and we give it all, and we win.
And more glory. You like the glory.
I don't know. I want to go on the rollers now.
You capture the yellow jersey. That's the other good news of the day.
Yeah, of course. To take yellow jersey is dream for any cyclist of any age. So yeah, for me it's I don't know which time already, but every time I can get it again on my shoulder, it feels really special, and yeah, I don't know for how long this will last, but yeah, we try to enjoy every moment.
Enjoy the rollers.
Thank you, I will.